For centuries, Kīlauea had never truly slept. It breathed slowly beneath the Hawaiian Islands, hidden under layers of rock, forest, and homes built too close to its heart. To scientists, it was one of the most active volcanoes on Earth. To locals, it was a living presence, unpredictable, respected, and feared. In early 2018, Kīlauea seemed calm. Tourists walked along crater rims. Families lived their normal lives in quiet neighborhoods built on ancient lava fields. No one knew they were standing on ground that was already beginning to tear itself apart. Deep underground, pressure was building. Magma was rising from the mantle, forcing its way into the volcano's internal plumbing. Seismic sensors began recording small earthquakes. Weak at first, almost unnoticeable. But they didn't stop. By late April, the ground beneath the eastern flank of Kīlauea started to deform. The magma was moving sideways, not upward, pushing toward the residential area of Leilani Estates. On May 3, 2018, the earth broke open. A thin crack appeared in the ground, then another, and another. From these fissures, lava erupted violently, bright orange fountains shooting into the air, releasing toxic gases and intense heat. The eruption did not come from the main crater. It came from people's backyards. Homes were surrounded within minutes. Roads split apart. The air filled with sulfur dioxide, making it difficult to breathe. Residents were forced to flee with almost no warning. Some barely escaped. As lava advanced, it moved slowly, but with unstoppable force. It swallowed houses, cars, trees, and power lines. Wood ignited instantly. Metal warped and collapsed. Entire neighborhoods disappeared under glowing rivers of molten rock. This was not a single eruption. It was a chain reaction. More than 20 fissures opened across the lower east rift zone. Each one acted like a wound in the Earth's surface, bleeding lava day and night. Meanwhile, something even more dangerous was happening at the summit. As magma drained from below, the volcano's main crater, Halema Uma'u, began to collapse. The ground dropped again and again in massive, violent subsidence events. Each collapse triggered powerful earthquakes, some exceeding magnitude. 5. Ash clouds rose thousands of meters into the sky. Rocks the size of refrigerators were thrown from the crater. Explosions echoed across the island. Kīlauea was tearing itself apart from the inside. At the same time, lava reached the ocean. When molten rock met seawater, it triggered violent steam explosions. Hydrochloric acid gas filled the air. Shards of volcanic glass, known as lays, were carried by the wind, burning skin and lungs. The coastline itself was reshaped. New land was created, unstable, steaming, and deadly. Over the next weeks, lava flows accelerated. Entire communities were erased. More than 700 homes were destroyed. Thousands of people were displaced. The destruction was relentless, but slow enough to be cruel. People watched their houses burn, powerless to stop it. Some returned just once, to retrieve photos, documents, memories, before everything vanished forever. Despite the devastation, scientists worked non-stop. Drones flew over lava rivers. Seismic stations tracked magma movement in real time. For the first time in history, an eruption of this scale was documented in extreme detail. But technology could not stop nature. Kīlauea dictated the pace. It decided where the lava would go, and nothing could stand in its way. By August 2018, the eruption finally began to weaken. The lava slowed, fissures went silent, the ground stopped collapsing. After 3 months, the eruption ended. What remained was a transformed island. More than 35 square kilometers of land were buried under lava. Entire maps had to be redrawn. Neighborhoods no longer existed. Forests were gone. Coastlines had changed shape forever. Kīlauea had reminded the world of a simple truth. The ground beneath us is not stable. It is alive. And when it moves, humanity is fragile. The 2018 eruption was not the deadliest volcanic disaster, but it was one of the most revealing. It showed how quickly paradise can become a battlefield between Earth and those who live on it, and how small we are when the planet decides to reshape itself. Kīlauea still breathes today, still active, still waiting. Because volcanoes do not end their stories, they only pause. But to truly understand what happened in 2018, You must look beneath the surface. Far below the island, magma had been accumulating for years. Kīlauea is not a single volcano. It is part of a massive volcanic system fed by the Hawaiian hotspot, a plume of superheated rock rising from deep within the Earth's mantle. As pressure increased, magma forced its way into underground channels, inflating the volcano like a balloon. GPS instruments recorded the ground rising centimeter by centimeter. The island itself was swelling. Then, the pressure found an escape. Instead of erupting vertically, the magma migrated laterally, traveling underground for kilometers. This movement caused the Earth's crust to crack open in a place no one expected. Leilani estates had been built directly above ancient lava flows. The land looked peaceful, green, and stable. But it was never truly safe. On May 4th, earthquakes shook the area non-stop. Walls rattled, windows shattered, the ground rolled like waves beneath people's feet. Some residents described the sound as something alive, a deep metallic grinding coming from below. Then the fissures widened. Lava fountains reached heights of 30 to 70 meters, illuminating the night sky in violent shades of orange and red. Chunks of molten rock rained down, igniting everything they touched. Toxic gases poured from the cracks. Sulfur dioxide concentrations reached lethal levels in some areas. Breathing without protection became impossible. Emergency crews worked under extreme conditions. They navigated collapsing roads, thick volcanic smog, and intense heat, knowing that the ground beneath them could split open at any moment. Evacuations expanded rapidly. Entire districts were declared uninhabitable. Schools closed. Shelters filled with families who had lost everything in a matter of hours. As the eruption intensified, lava flows merged into massive channels, moving faster and hotter. In some areas, lava traveled underground through lava tubes, re-emerging kilometers away, unpredictable and unstoppable. Meanwhile, above all of this, the summit continued to collapse. Each collapse at Halemaumau was catastrophic. The crater floor dropped by tens of meters at a time, sending shockwaves across the island. These collapses were not explosions, they were implosions, caused by the sudden loss of magma support beneath the surface. Ash columns rose repeatedly, grounding flights and covering nearby communities in volcanic dust. The sky turned gray. Daylight faded. For scientists, this eruption became a once-in-a-lifetime event. Never before had a volcanic system been monitored with such precision during a major collapse. Instruments recorded pressure changes, seismic waves, gas emissions, and ground deformation in real time. What they observed confirmed a terrifying reality. The volcano was reorganizing itself. The plumbing system of Kīlauea was being destroyed and rebuilt simultaneously. Old magma pathways collapsed. New ones formed. This internal restructuring is what made the eruption so prolonged and destructive. By June, lava output peaked. Rivers of molten rock flowed relentlessly toward the ocean, covering everything in their path. When the lava reached the sea, explosions shook the coastline. Plumes of acidic steam rose hundreds of meters into the air. The ocean boiled. New land formed, fragile, unstable, and dangerously hot. Standing on this new coastline was a death sentence. Entire sections collapsed into the sea without warning. The eruption did not discriminate. It consumed homes of all sizes, cars, roads, farms, sacred sites. For native Hawaiians, the destruction carried deep cultural meaning. Kīlauea is the home of Pele, the goddess of fire and volcanoes. To many, the eruption was not just a disaster, but a reminder of nature's power and authority. By July, exhaustion set in. Firefighters, scientists, and emergency workers operated around the clock. Families waited anxiously, watching maps that changed daily, sometimes hourly. Some areas were spared by meters, others were erased completely. In total, over 2,000 hectares were covered in lava. Entire subdivisions vanished from satellite imagery, and then, slowly, the activity declined. By early August, lava fountains weakened, flows slowed, the fissures went quiet, one by one. On August 15, 2018, Kīlauea fell silent. After 92 days, the eruption ended. But silence did not mean safety. The landscape left behind was unstable, fractured, and dangerous. Hidden lava tubes still glowed beneath the surface. Toxic gases lingered. The ground remained hot for months. Rebuilding would take years. Some areas would never be rebuilt at all. Kīlauea had permanently altered the island, not just physically, but psychologically. The eruption changed how people viewed the land beneath them. Paradise was no longer guaranteed. Today, Kīlauea remains one of the most closely watched volcanoes on Earth. Every tremor is recorded, every breath of gas measured, because the lesson of 2018 is clear. Volcanoes do not attack suddenly. They warn, they whisper, they build pressure in silence. And when the Earth finally opens, there is no stopping it. When the eruption ended, the lava did not retreat. It stayed, frozen in place, like a scar burned into the island. Maps were rewritten, roads vanished. Entire communities existed now only in memory. For those who lost their homes, the silence after the eruption was almost worse than the noise. No explosions, no fountains, just emptiness, and the realization that nothing would ever be the same. Kīlauea had not destroyed the island. It had reshaped it. This is how volcanoes work. They do not explode once and disappear. They evolve. They reset the land again and again, over centuries. The 2018 eruption was not an accident. It was part of a process that has been happening long before humans arrived, and will continue long after they are gone. Today, life slowly returns to the edges of the lava fields. Plants grow through cracks. Birds come back. People rebuild, cautiously. But beneath the surface, Kīlauea still breathes. Pressure still builds. Magma still moves. The earth is still alive. Because this is the truth the eruption revealed. We do not live on solid ground. We live on a planet in motion. And sometimes, the ground decides to remind us.